Do you have an update on this, please, Hilary?
Oh, absolutely, Stuart. And a pity that we do have to talk about the Ginger Whinger on such a glorious day. But yes, of course, he came back, was back in the UK meeting with King Charles. Obviously, his star has totally faded. Stuart, he used to be #2 in terms of popularity on YouGov polls within the whole of the British Isles and in the Commonwealth. Now he's plummeted. He's only right just above Prince Andrew. So he's got to do something to get back in the social graces of King Charles, to help his star, to be able to actually sell books or do whatever he's going to do to make money. But in terms of Prince William is far, far stronger at holding the line here, because he had his brother betray the trust that they grew up with, not only denigrating his own wife, Princess Catherine, but also Queen Camilla, as well as throwing, actually, Stuart, the entire family under the proverbial royal bus. And Prince William is not forgiving in that regard, and he does not trust him.
Do you think Harry is ever likely to come back to Britain?
I do think there is a great chance, Stuart. It was purported, and I can't say that I know this firsthand, but people that I've spoken to, people that I hear from, everybody says the same thing. And you could see it on his face, you could see it in his demeanor, you could see how gloriously happy he was to be back in England. He wasn't with many of his friends, actually. They weren't actually so up to meeting with him. But with his charities, how easily he was interacting with those youth up in Nottingham. I think that he really was in his element, Stuart. But, of course, his family and his children are in the US. But never say never. I would not be surprised if at some juncture he at least wants a footprint and to spend more time back in the UK.
Again, Hilary, hold on for a moment. I want to get back to Nigel, who's going to tell us what we're seeing now. It looks like the British military brass is being introduced.
Yeah, this looks like top brass, but also top brass. There's some veterans there by the looks of it from previous conflicts, and by the looks of it, some high-ranking civilians as well. I can't quite work out. Normally, you would expect them to walk up and down the ranks of the guardsmen, but that's not quite what's happening here. These are clearly selected people from across the services. By the looks of it, one or two possibly RAF, Royal Air Force type uniforms as well. So this is not quite what I would have expected.
But they're not marching up and down the line, is you're right.
This is rather less formal.
Is the king a little afraid?
Well, the king has, as I said to you earlier, been through a lot of treatment. He's been through a tough time. He's 76 now, I think, and he has been through a tough time. I'm sure he's quite capable of marching up and down, but, you know, it looks to me like a slightly less formal end to the afternoon's proceedings.
Okay.
Followed by a cup of tea, of course.
Of course. Thank you, Nigel. You know what you're talking about. What a pleasure. Let me get back to you, Hilary. We've got a report here that King Charles has been, quote, very involved with Trump's second state visit to the UK. There are reportedly a lot of issues that he's eager to discuss with Trump. Hilary, are they going to find common ground at all?
I absolutely believe so, Stuart, because it's the chemistry between them. While they do have rather diverse politics, which is quite obvious in terms of King Charles and his stance on the environment, etc., they've always had a chemistry, which I think is rather wonderful. He was very involved, if I can mention just a few things, he was very involved in terms of the gardens. He's a great proponent of organic foods. There will be organic vegetables and fruits and herbs at the dinner, and there actually honey bee hive honey will be served. One thing that President Trump won't be doing, he'll be breaking tradition because he won't be accepting an alcoholic beverage tonight for the toast at the state banquet. Now, in terms of your question, yes, he wants to emphasize in terms of policy. King Charles is very concerned about the environment. I do always find it very hypocritical, like when Biden came over to meet with him about green issues and they flew over, you know, Air Force One, but also 6 jets with all of the beasts and everything else. Of course, President Trump did that. But bottom line, yes, I think there'll be discussions, and he will want to support those nuclear facilities actually that are going in up at Hartlepool in the north, and have an influence on President Trump prior to him going to Chequers in Berkshire tomorrow.
Hilary, I go way back in Britain. Although I've lived in America for 53 years, I remember England from all those years ago, and I was always told that you could not shake hands with the monarch. And here we have King Charles walking down a line and shaking hands with everybody. Is that new?
Oh, absolutely. And Stuart, yes, you're from the north, and I know that, and you've been here many years too, lovely, like me, since a little girl came here. But I will say this, yes, you're totally and utterly correct. King Charles is a modern monarch, and he has done much too, and he wants to update the monarchy. Now, who's even more modern, though, and you've probably seen this, Stuart, and our audience has too, that Prince William hugs people. And I think some of that actually did come from a little needling from his brother in his Whinge-fest autobiography Spare, where he said that the royal family was cold and that his father didn't hug him when Princess Diana died, etc. So I think they've done a lot to update the monarchy. And I do think, Stuart, again, talking about from your youth and when you grew up in England and I did, Princess Diana actually had a big influence on this. Remember, when she went to that hospital and she hugged that aged patient, that at the time made headline news because you don't touch a monarch. And of course, when Michelle Obama on the state visit with President Obama, when she hugged the Queen, that was the Queen who sort of took a step back, but she did accept it gracefully. Yes, it is the modern monarchy, far more touchy-feely, and actually, in a way, far more Americanized and far more like Princess Diana thought they should be, which is closer and more affectionate with the people.